Hi. Well, we're going to start episode number 2. Glad you came back, or if it's your first time, glad you came. Today I'm going to do a painting that's somewhat easier than the last one we did, and it's going to require a different technique. We're going to be doing some glazing after it dries, so that'll be fun. I got my palette laid out here. The colors I believe I'm going to be using, but that's always changeable. I got my coffee. You got to have your coffee or it doesn't work. And I got some brushes and my paint knives. So I guess we can get started here. Now, this painting here has got nothing very exciting in the background, but this stump, that stump pops out of the darkness in the back. I took that picture when I was going for a walk with my daughter's dog, or she was taking me for a walk, and we came across that and I stopped and took the picture. Now, if I was 5 minutes later or 10 minutes earlier, that wouldn't have been a picture. There would have been nothing to see. But at that exact time, the shadow was in the background and the sun hit that stump. And it's a great picture. You can find beauty everywhere. It doesn't have to be great vistas out in the Northwest or anything like that. Just on a trail, something simple as that can be beautiful. So that's what we're going to paint. Now the only change that I will do, instead of, as you can see, it's the only nature thing or it's not nature, is a chainsaw, cut that tree down. So I don't particularly care for that. So I'm going to make it so that the tree broke off. That's more natural, right, than getting cut up. All right, so we'll get started. Now, in the background here, we got some blue sky, or not sky, water that's reflecting the blue sky, and a little bit of green. It works pretty good the way it is. I think I'll try to keep that a little bit. So we're going to get the white out, and we're going to take some ultramarine blue. And my colors are labeled here: titanium white, Naples yellow, yellow ochre, green earth, red, cadmium red deep, French ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, burnt umber, and Van Dyke brown. Okay. So now that has a touch of green in there, so let's put that in there. Touch of yellow. Yeah. All right. Going to be, here we go. Yeah, it's pretty close. Surprise myself sometimes. There we go. Now, you know, some paints are a lot stronger than others. If you have, let's say, alizarin crimson, you grab a piece of that like you'd grab white, it's changed everything. So you gotta have an idea of what your paint strength is. So we're just gonna fill this in here a little bit. There we go. Now I'm not worried too much for the way I'm brushing my paint on there. It's in the background. I don't want it to take front stage at all. So I'm just putting it in there like that. There we go. Now the idea is that I want the background not to compete with the stump. That's going to be the main attraction. Yeah. Oh. I'll take care of that. Yeah. There we go. We got that covered up. Now I want to establish my darks here. So I'm going to mix up paper towels Mix up some Van Dyke brown. And maybe a bit of blue. Now these trees are, everybody thinks all the trees are brown, but they're not. If you can look at this one's kind of gray, as well as this one. The others are darker. So, there we go. A little bit more. Yeah. Now, I don't think I made up enough, though. We'll get some more white over here. There we go. See, I don't mix it perfect. I leave the different marbleized on there because it helps make it look more natural. Just a touch of that. Okay, let's get our darks in here. I'm just going to go up here. We're going to have to do something about this thing of mine. Next time I'll have something fixed on this here. Yeah. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of lighter color, maybe a little bit of white, and just give this a little highlight here. Again, I'm not too worried about this. I'm just getting the darks in here. Get some more over here. Now this tree is very similar to that one, so we'll put some in here. Just go down here like that. There we go. Now if the tree don't come out exactly as it is on the picture, the trees don't complain. You know, you can get away with all kinds of stuff. So the main thing is to have fun. Enjoy yourself. You know, there's a lot of golf players that they're not going to be on the GPA tour, but they still go out and play every weekend. Just a little bit, yeah. Now I plan on going over this with my knives, give it some texture, and still keep it in the background, but give it some texture, because these two or three trees in the background have a little bit of texture. But I don't want to draw any attention to that. It's all right here. All right, now, get a smaller brush. Get some terps in there. Get some dark. And we're just going to, hopefully, make a nice tree. Here we go. And then there's one coming through there. All right. This one's coming. This one's going to come through here. This tree comes down. Cuts that right off here. This is down by the Hopkinton State Forest. And this particular area, there's a bunch of pine trees in that, and it's rooty. I mean, you got to watch where you're going. So you could very easily miss something like that just watching your footing. You don't break your neck. But it's so, so nice. It's dark. With dark, I mean the green, dark green. And the dark greens are broken up by the faint green of the light coming through the trees. The birds are singing. And my daughter's dog, Bailey, oh, she's my girlfriend. She's up there in the front and her tail's going like that. She's just, you know, she's as happy as you can be. And that in turn makes me happy. And the world is beautiful. All right. All right. Now this white part, I'm going to paint that a darker green. So, put that brush there. We're going to go over here and get some green. And I think what we'll do is just steal some of that paint, put it right in there. Touch of red, because I don't want it to be too green. Put some red in with your green and it'll dull it down. That's the wrong red. Oh my God, look at that. Jeez, that's no good. Let's get some of this over here. What not to do? Wrong red. There we go. We'll put that in there. Okay. Now fix that. I'm going to get some bright yellow. And I'll put that there. Should go over there, but I can do what I want. You should try to keep your paints somewhat in order, and the order can be anything you want, but keep it in order so that your arm just naturally goes to where the color is, and you don't spend too much time hunting. More coffee is needed. All right, so we got our green back here. Got to darken it up a little bit. There we go. But we're going to need a lot more than that, though. Now, another thing my father taught me is when you put your paint out, don't be stingy. Don't put out tiny little bits of paint. You spend half your time squeezing tubes to get more out. Put it out there. And if you're not buying really expensive stuff, you can do that. But you shouldn't go with the real cheap stuff either, because that's not going to serve you well. Start off with the middle, a little bit lower middle, get used to it, work your way, and try the different companies. The different companies have different paint, they react different, and funny enough, you know, with me, sometimes I look for the cap. If they're all good, if they're all paints are good that I'm looking at, and I can't make a difference of one company to the other, the cap will do it for me. You're out in the middle of nowhere and you left your pliers at home, and now you got to try to get that thing off. Okay, so I'll get my big brush again, and we'll just put this in here. Let's get some of this, loosen it up a little bit. Again, this is not the finished paint down we're putting down. This is just to establish my darks and my lights. There we go. There we go. Now, if any of you have painted before you, and you say, this guy's crazy, that's not how you do it. That's fine, that doesn't bother me. This is how I paint. And doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way, wrong way, it's my way. It's either my way or hit the road. Now we'll put some green in here. Put a little more here. Get an idea what we got going here. There we go. Just a little bit here. All right. Get some there. Now we're going to work in this area, which is the reddish browns from the pine tree. I love. You ever walk through a pine grove? There's something special about that. Or a hemlock grove. There's no underbrush, just the soft needles. You walk on it, smells nice. Yeah, I like that. Get some yellow ochre and some brown umber. All right, we're going to just slap that in there, clean my palette off. Get the mighty brush. Let's get this in here. I keep humming to myself in my head. You know what I'm humming? The Three Stooges. Hey Mo, hey Larry, look at the fool. He's got a mess. There we go. You got to take it fun. This can't be so serious that, oh my God, I made a mistake. Nobody's going to like it. Paint for yourself. The hell with everybody else. You enjoy what you're doing. This is your thing. Now you see I'm putting this on a little bit light so that my drawing will show through a little bit, because that's going to be the roots and I want to highlight them somewhat. And then I'm going to put shadows in on them. But this one here, like I said before, this is going to be started, dried, glazed. And with the glazing, you can get some great technique, great, very sensitivity, or what's the word I want? Very beautiful technique that allows the color to shine through, more so than if it's just bare paint. A glaze is thin paint with a formula that allows the color to reflect differently than if it does it right on the painting. We'll do that after. But the paint has to be dry. Oh, I need some more chirps too. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. Now I use odorless thinners. It's not good for you. It's not healthy to breathe those odors and molecules and that. So, not to mention, the wife don't appreciate the smell either. So, it is better without the trips stinking everything up, because it's really potent. All right, so we're getting a basic layout of this. Now this area here is a very light color. So we're going to put this down here like that. Just, there we go. Anyway, this way here, some lumber guy didn't cut this tree down. It died of natural causes. It wasn't murdered. There we go. Then there'll be some green ivy, I guess that's what it is, it looks like. But the thing is, it's going to be darker here, and we're going to have sunlight dappling in there. It's gonna be nice. This is going to be really good. I see that I want to change this just a little bit. I want to... Let me just... Yeah. There we go. A little bit better. All right, now we got our basic color situated there. Now, time for a drink. Let me, there. Cover up the white. Stay out of the light. There we go. I want to take some yellow. And I want to take some white. And I want to lighten this up a little bit. Not a lot, just here and there. I got to do the same thing over here. Because the sun's getting through there a little bit. There we go. Just soften it up a little bit. You can see I'm not trying to be too exact. It's because I'm having fun. I'm not worried about how it's going to come out. I just want to get the paint up there and enjoy myself. If it comes out good, I'm a hero. If it comes out bad, yeah, you had a good laugh. So, all right. Let's do some of this white. Mix it in with that. That gray we got. Use all our paint up. Get some of that. Van Dyke brown. It's kind of greenish. All right. So let's just put a little bit here. There we go. Yeah. I'll put a little bit in there. Bring that one up a bit. I'll leave that for the brush. Do some of that with here. Yeah. Okay. Now we need some Naples yellow. Maybe a little yellow ochre. And we'll get this side right in here. And then we'll do a little bit over here, coming down. Down over here. I think I'll go straight like that. And I'll leave it rough like that. Then I'll take some of this brown and yellow ochre with some of this gray. Maybe a little more gray. There we go. We'll put that in there. We need some more gray. Put some gray right on here. There we go. And we need a little bit over here. Now, I'm not too worried about the top of that because it wasn't cut off by a perfect machine. It snapped off. So it's going to be jagged. Some pieces will be higher than others. And that's okay. Okay. Now, let's see. I should put in some of the roots. You know, there's some beautiful places all around us. I'm sure some of you people know exactly where they are. If you want to let me know where they are, I wouldn't mind taking a look. I could always use some places to paint. That would be nice. Maybe I could do some on here. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll cover that up. No, it's not done. Oh, this is going to come down. This old gnarly tree. What stories these old things could tell you about. Whoop. Here we go. I don't know where that yellow came from. It's not particularly what I wanted there. I'll deal with you later. Some of these roots overlap. And that makes it interesting. Oh, they come out, go underneath. And put it over there. It's a little darker here. Your trees, the bottom of your trees are not telephone poles. They have a base that holds them up. I'll try to make sure you show that. Some people put them in like this. And trees aren't perfectly straight, and trees have a little footing on the bottom, unless it's covered up by grass or water, whatever. See what you made me do? We can fix it. That's another good thing about it. We can fix anything. We can fix anything. See? Do that. And we'll add some of this color in there. There we go. Continue it on over here. Put some over here. And it'll look like it belonged there. Only you and I know the difference. Yeah, now we're going to add a little bit more red in places, I think. Add some red in here. And we'll have to darken that up. Put some brown in here. And we got to add some red down here. Down here. The idea is to get it in there without looking like a brush stroke. Try to blend it like. There we go, we'll get up in here. Stop it. I will have that fixed next time. I'll have that fixed. Taking some shape, no? I think so. Okay, now let's what do you think? You know, darken these up a little bit, huh? All right. Now, this isn't quite that same color, and I do like that, which is on the photograph. So I think I'll change that a little bit and try to make it look more like that. And here's what, look at this. See? It's one of the good things about oil painting. You don't like it, you scrape it off. See? Now if we take the knife and do that, I know I'm hiding everything from you. That's better. That's better. Just touch the knife lightly when you got paint on it, like that. Just lightly touch it, and it'll hit and miss. And it makes it look real, more authentic. Now this has got a dark spot right about there. So we go get a dark spot. Some darker paint. Now I'm going to lay this paint out, like spread it out a little bit like that, and just get a ribbon on there, like, and I'm going to come down, put it on, and come down. There, slide down. Like that. Maybe more here. Now I'm going to wipe my knife off. Lay it on top very gently. And kind of like blend it in. So that looks more like a shadow rather than something like this. It's, oh, look at that. Look at that. Invite me over to the house sometime. I'll show you how to paint. As I was saying, instead of looking like it's light darks like that, the light here curves over and it's dark back here. In which case this darker spot should be back here. Away from the light. The light's coming this way. So the darker spot's going to be right in there. There we go. I made a mistake, but I fixed it. Maybe I'll just keep the paper towels under my arm. Seems like that's what I need more. I'm going to kind of like take these down. I'm using the side of the knife, not flat, not entirely on edge. And I'm just taking it to blend it in a little bit. Because I'll highlight that after, but I want to get the smooth graduation of color. Same as over here. This has a dark area here. See what I did? I mixed the the gray right on there. And I'm going to take some off. It's almost like, I don't know, dyeing like clothes type thing. Paint gets embedded on the canvas there. And then I'll highlight that as I go. I'll let that dry. When I come back, I'll put that lighter color on there. Okay, this here's got to come down here. There we go. And this curves right here, right there. Now this got a dark area as well. Whoop. Let's put that in there. Right down here it is too. There we go. Reestablish the dark here. And again, when this dries, we'll do some highlights. And we'll add shadows into here. Okay. Now, I'm going to need a lot more brown. Take some of this. Kind of clean, right? Use that there. I'll take that. Now this is mostly yellow ochre. I'll add some red to it. I like to get some more of that dark. Yeah. All right. Now, down here there's a lot of texture. Now this is how I do it. Get the paint on there, and let's slap it on there in a random way. I'm taking the edge, and when I hit it, whatever's up here slaps down onto the canvas. You just want it to be random. Now we'll glaze over this, and then we'll wipe some glaze off. And it'll give it the idea of shadow and different colored browns. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it looks like fun. It is, yeah. Now, obviously, you can't be exact with this. And you don't want it to be exact. You don't want it to be exact. You want to, don't be too aggressive and end up going right through your canvas, but there we go. Beat it up. Now that looks like somebody took an axe to it, but you will see that we'll get technique out of that. We'll get a nice random look of twigs, needles, pine needles. What I'm after is to make it not look like I put it there. I don't want to look like I doing some kind of modern art thing going here. There is a technique to this that I've used a few times, and it comes out very well. When that dries, we'll glaze it, a darker glaze in areas, and wipe it. And when we wipe it, all these bumps, the glaze will be taken off, and they'll be lighter in color. And the more you wipe, the more lighter it becomes, till its natural color, if you wipe it all off. But the thing is, you don't wipe it entirely the same. You don't put the same colored glaze on there. A little darker here, a little lighter there, do that. When the sun hits, you wipe most of it off. And then when the glaze dries, you can go back and hit some highlights in the area. It's a nice technique. I like it. It's also good for using if you want to show bushes, you know, a bunch random bushes like goldenrod or something like that. Many of them, bunches of them. You can do this technique, keeping the knife the same way, the same direction that they're growing. And then you put your flowers on top. Some of the things that come out the best are the ones you try the least. Not always, but a lot of times. The big thing is frame of mind, too. If you're having a really bad day or you're upset about something, maybe it's not a good day to paint if you want to feel good about painting. But I get all excited when I paint. I get up in the morning, I tell Google, good morning, and she tells me the time, the temperature, what I got on the calendar, and then she plays me some soft jazz, and that kind of like gets me going to get up, move, before rigor mortis sets in on me. And I start thinking, what am I going to paint today? Or if I've already started something, how am I going to fix this problem? Because I always have problems, and you will too. But part of the fun is solving these problems. And then you step back and say, yeah, that's pretty good. That worked. All right. Part of the reason I'm doing this program, a lot of people have asked me if I teach, and I don't teach. I'm not a good teacher. I don't think. But I don't mind showing you whatever I do. And what I do doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way, the wrong way. Like I said before, this is just how I do it. And if it works for you, good. And what you should do is go get books, get videos, watch YouTube, take a little bit from this person, this artist over here, and you put it together and it becomes you. What's that say? You got to find yourself. That's it. You got to find yourself. Deep inside you, there might be a Rembrandt or a Picasso. Who knows? All right. Yeah, I worked up a sweat. Working too hard here. All right. I'll put the green in after it dries. I'll add some more roots to it after it dries. I think I can do a little bit more on that tree there before it does dry. maybe I can, or should. Maybe I should make some more technique, more emboss a little bit up here. That ain't gonna look good there. Let's see. If I get this here. Yeah, there we go. Let's take this and just. And some of that brown got on there, that's all right. Again, I'm just using the flat part, very lightly touching it. I wanted to pick up some paint on the bottom. Not all of it, not at the same time, not all of the same amount. Not the same amount, we're just lightly dragging it. Just touching it very lightly, just my 2 little fingers there. Now these trees are further in the distance. I'm not going to try to put anything like that on there. I'm not even going to emphasize the trunks more. I'm going to leave it just like that. Now this here has a kind of a green-gray. You must have seen the moss on the trees. Has that green-gray look to it. Okay. I got just the color for that I like to use. It's green-gray. Imagine that. Put some green-gray there. Take a palette knife and wipe it off. Sometimes it's good to have a clean palette knife so your colors don't get dirty. And I'll take some white. My shadow's casting it so you can't see. Put some white there. Now that alone is too green. So I'm going to get some Davies Gray, which has some green in it. Put it over next to Mr. Van Dyke. All right. Take a little bit of that. Cast shadow, can't see what I'm doing. There we go. All right. That it? There we go. I just gobbed it on there. And we're just going to put some of this right up here. Yeah. Got some texture now. We got some texture now. However, it goes this way. There we go. We still got to follow the shape of the root. The line don't go right straight down past the root. It's got to follow the root of the tree. Okay, now some of that color is in here. Too straight of a line there, Verne. Break it up. I'm trying to be careful not to get gobs on there. I just want to touch lightly and pull off a little bit of this blue-gray. All right. All right, we're going to leave it like that. And when we come back, this will have dried. And we will touch up a little bit more on the trees in the background, only a little, because I want to keep them back there. We'll do some shading, highlighting in the ground, and do some serious work on the stump. And this will be a lot darker, and the stump will be a lot lighter. I'm going to pull that stump right out of that, right off the canvas. So I'll see you next time. Remember to pick up a brush and use it every day. Okay? See you next time.